Well, here we are on YouTube. Nathan, I'm coming at you live from our hotel in Ottawa. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Is that like a 70s style sofa behind you? Is that what that is? Or is it just a nice brown
70s style, baby? No, this is actually the virtual background. It's just, I'm actually in the Ritz-Carlton, $2,000 a night hotel. I don't want people who give us all the Patreon money to think they're giving us too much, so I have to look like we're poor. So, Nathan, what do we have today?
The title is Taylor Swift's Villain Story.
Okay.
This is from Carolyn.
Okay.
I believe Carolyn's a new supporter of the channel. This is what she says. Okay. This video is made by Sasha, a former Miss America top 10 beauty queen.
Okay, so the person won't be ugly to look at. Okay, roger that.
Currently.
Well, ugly people don't do Miss America. That's just a fact of life. Whatever preconceived notion you have of what you think I think is ugly, that's on you, not on me. Now, I would have to describe to you what I think is ugly, but I won't. Thus, I get myself not in trouble. All I will just say is, ugly people don't do Miss America. And my wife is giving me a death stare. Okay. Is this why people come to our channel?
This is why people leave our channel.
Oh, this is why they leave the channel. I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay. It's made by Sasha, a former beauty queen. Okay. This is a compilation of her posts about the Kanye Kim situation.
Okay.
And how Taylor found her way through it. I think you'll find it interesting and truly understand the magnitude of the situation.
Okay. Is that Taylor Swift with a face filter? Who is that? What? Is that Miss America?
I think the girl down below, but just play it. Just play it.
I literally thought that was Taylor Swift with a face filter. Okay. All right.
No, I don't like you, but I got smarter, I got harder in the nick of time. Honey, I rose up from the dead, I do it all the time. I got a list of names and yours is in red underlined. I check it once, then I check it twice.
I'm going to explain Taylor Swift's snake symbolism as quickly as I can. Most of you are probably already familiar with the infamous incident where Kanye interrupted Taylor at the VMAs. This was an absolutely humiliating and traumatizing incident for Taylor, who was a literal child at this point, while Kanye was in his 30s. Taylor handled the situation with extraordinary grace and released a song flatly and openly forgiving Kanye for the incident. But Kanye decided that he really liked harassing Taylor and he didn't want to let it go. 7 years later, Kanye releases a song called Famous, where he says, "I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex, why I made that bitch famous." Before he released the song, he called Taylor and ran the lyric, "I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex," ran it past her. He did not run past her, "I made that bitch famous." And what he also didn't run past her is the music video in which Kanye created revenge porn without Taylor's consent, showing her naked body in bed with him. And
what are we talking? Okay, slow down. This is too much information.
Well, we knew some of that already.
We knew about the phone call. We saw that in her biopic on Netflix.
Yeah, in Miss Americana.
Is there a chair pushing on her backside? Is there a reason why she's pushed forward like that? I don't. Is she sitting in a chair that's pushing her forward? I'm just some sort of lumbar problem. Is there a reason why her back might be pushing forward? I'm just
Ryan.
No, I'm just wondering. Does she have like a crick in her back or something? It's weird. I actually had one. I had one in my neck when I was a kid. Why is she leaning forward like that? Is there something wrong with the chair?
I wonder. Okay. Just play.
I don't know what's going on. I just work here. What do you want?
Mia will point it out for you there.
Are they heavy? Are they leaning her forward? Does she need a reduction? What's going on here? Okay. My wife has no idea what I'm looking at. She's like, oh, okay. Can we just go back 10 seconds? I lost track about the revenge. What was she saying was in bed?
And what he also didn't run past her is the music video in which Kanye created revenge porn without Taylor's consent, showing her naked body in bed with him.
What? How's that possible?
Fake.
There's a wax figure of her or something?
Did he make a music video of that, or how did that get out there?
I think all the Swifties know the situation, so that's why she's not explaining. So she's going through this very quickly. So This is from Caitlin. Caitlin said that he faked it with Taylor's face edited onto a naked body. Oh, that's horrible. Why would he do something? Okay, well, this is a stupid question because he's an idiot.
He's a moron.
And obviously, as you can imagine, Taylor was upset. I'll do a part 2. So following the release of Famous by Kanye West, Taylor puts out a statement where she says that she would very much like to be excluded from this narrative, one that she never asked to participate in. Because again, I need to underline that from the very beginning, Kanye has instigated and driven this entire conflict. At the time, Kanye West was married to Kim Kardashian, and what Taylor didn't know is that when Kanye called Taylor to tell her that he was writing a song about her, Kim illegally recorded the entire conversation. Now what's key to understand is that Kanye never played the song for Taylor, even though he told her that he was going to, and Kanye never ran past the lyric, "I made that bitch famous." And he definitely did not ask permission to use her naked body in the video. However, Kim Kardashian took the recorded conversation and edited it to make it seem like Taylor did know about those aspects of the song.
Is that your dog barking?
It's barking in the video.
Oh.
I don't have a yappy dog.
I didn't think you had a yappy dog.
My dog's bark is like,
that's right.
To the world. What ensued was a veritable feeding frenzy as the misogyny, hatred, and jealousy that millions of people feel towards Taylor Swift exploded and was vented in the form of massive pile-on internet bullying. So after Kim Kardashian instigated the internet feeding frenzy towards Taylor Swift,
as you know, I have very, what do you call it? Audio sensitivity?
yes.
I was here.
It's so funny. It doesn't even faze me.
Well, it doesn't faze her either, apparently.
and was vented in the form of massive pile-on internet bullying. So after Kim Kardashian instigated the internet feeding frenzy towards Taylor Swift, the insult that millions of people decided on was that Taylor Swift is a snake. What's important to understand is up until this point, the foundation of Taylor's public persona was the squeaky clean, cookie cutter, good girl. Taylor was known for an extremely innocent, kind, loving, open-hearted persona. And the muddled narrative about the Kanye West phone call gave people just a little scrap of ground to claim that all of that kindness and generosity was fake and that Taylor was actually a snake behind the scenes. If you didn't experience this in real time, it's hard to explain the magnitude of internet hatred.
I would just chalk all of that up to Kanye's projection of himself. And this is what most narcissists do, is they project what they think everyone else is onto the world when that's what they are inside. They're like, oh, this person is this way. This person, they can't help themselves. It's so obvious to me that that's what he's doing.
Everyone seemed to just flip a switch overnight. Taylor was on top of the world before this point and crashed, and her reputation literally seemed to go up in flames almost overnight. Okay, I'm getting comments asking for longer videos. This is going to be a long, nuanced explanation of—
Why aren't you getting comments to shut your dog up?
Taylor's PR circa 2016. In 2016, Taylor Swift was probably as close to being on top of the world as a human being could be. Not only was Taylor's music insanely popular at this time, she also had this infamous squad of Victoria's Secret model best friends, and she was publicly linked to Calvin Harris at the time, making Taylor and Calvin the richest couple in the music industry at the time. Richer than Beyonce and Jay-Z. Kanye West released the song Famous on the same day that Taylor won her second Album of the Year at the Grammys for 1989. Which, a bit of context on that's important to understand is that 1989 came after Red, which was nominated and didn't win Album of the Year, although many people thought it should, but was kind of this general consensus and feeling that Taylor just seemed to be too good to be true because she was putting out banger album after banger album, being a woman in her early 20s. Taylor has always had an innate understanding of PR and has been very aware of her public perception, and at the time she was cognizant of the fact that she was close to being overexposed in the media, to the point that in the conversation with Kanye that Kim illegally recorded, Taylor actually expressed concern that she was already overexposed and she was worried about how being involved in this narrative with Kanye could bring her even more so into the media. Taylor Swift suffers from something that I like to call the Meghan Markle effect, which is that when a woman is too polished, too poised, too composed, she seems to others to be too good to be true, and they start to question her authenticity. This certainly applies to her songwriting. Anyone with a shred of intellect can
I think the biggest piece of history that we didn't know regarding this drama, celebrity drama, really is what it is. I didn't know about the music video with the wax figure or whatever. She's doing a lot of, I don't know what the word is, exposition based on her personal fandom, meaning she's supposing that all things. Okay, this is nothing to do with Taylor. We do this all the time with any celebrity or anyone that we're a fan of, music band, artist, novelist, whoever. Swifties are going to get mad at me for saying this because they love Swifties. But here's the reality. She's also just a human, and she's an incredibly talented, wonderful, beautiful human, ... However, not everyone has to be a fan. Not haters. I'm talking about haters.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about haters. But I would argue, Nathan, name me one artist that's universally loved. And I'll wait.
No, absolutely. I get where you're going with that.
I love Taylor. I've become a Swiftie or a fan. I would love to see her live. I have enjoyed for every single video we've done. I'm constantly amazed about her talent. Some strong songs are stronger than others, just like any other artist. They're not all the same level, but she's extremely talented, wonderful. She seems genuine and kind. She has great parents, all these things. However, I don't think anyone needs to defend her. I'm not saying she doesn't need people. I guess I'm just looking at her like any public figure that has the detractors. This is a better word. There's detractors and there's supporters. I find that whoever's in the detractor camp will remain in the detractor camp. Who's ever in the supporter camp will remain this for whatever artist.
Yeah.
And
the point that's being made here, and I know all of what you're saying is true. Like this is a super fan, really. I think she's articulating it well. She's trying to explain
the history is explained. Yeah, I get it, and I'm following. It's fine. No, I have no problem with the history that she's
in this case, and I'm glad that it's a female who probably deals with a lot of this herself. The pushback that she gets when she puts things out there, I can't even imagine what it's like. We get all of our hate mail, and some of it gets kind of nasty every once in a while. But it's not like die, or anything. Like people aren't wishing death upon us.
Not death, but failure at the very least.
Oh, sure. We'll get the comments where someone just decides to get all riled up and leave. What I appreciate is that this is someone who is a supporter of Taylor for sure, but she's trying to acknowledge what Taylor is and what she was posted all over the internet as being. I appreciate this insight here about people who, with how they look to the public, and then people just go, no, it's too good to be true, can't be true, and they just write them off because they don't like that they do things well. I guess I saw a lot of it as a teacher where I'd get a student would come in and just hate some band all of a sudden. And then it was cool to hate that band because it was cool, just because it was a trend.
Teenagers, we did the same thing as teenagers.
We did the same thing, that sway of public opinion and just going along with the crowd because that's the way the wind is blowing. I hate that stuff. And she's pushing back against that. And I like that.
Okay, she's a fan and she's given us a history, but who's this for? Are detractors watching this and going, you know what? I was wrong. Maybe people in the comments go, let me know if they've experienced that, or maybe somebody's watching this saying, you know what? I didn't like Taylor until I saw Miss America talk about it.
Recognize that Taylor Swift has one of the greatest poetic minds of our time. And yet there will always be people who claim in my comment section and everywhere else that Taylor's songwriting is a trick, that it's not real, that they're secretly male ghostwriters. They just can't wrap their heads around how someone could really create 17 years of back-to-back-to-back-to-back hits.
That's a fair argument. Again, Taylor's not the only one. Even Shakespeare has been accused of having ghostwriters. Oh, yeah. I agree. That's a real argument that Taylor's receiving, but it's a common one that many successful people receive. Not surprised by that, but again, other bands have received the same from people I personally know who say the same thing. Somebody else must have wrote it, which is odd to say that somebody else wrote something to make it good. But why can't it be the artist that did it? Like, why does it have to be somebody that's not? Yeah,
you're right. This video doesn't make any dent in my opinion, but I already came to that conclusion that Taylor's just really good at knowing what works.
Good at her job. She's good at her job.
She happens to be good at her job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's people that are good at being doctors, lawyers, rocket scientists. There's just some people who are really good at their job. She's a really good artist. She's good at her job. Yeah.
Now, there are valid criticisms of Taylor's public persona during this time. One that I'll point out is that her friend group, from the outside looking in, did not seem to be particularly diverse in terms of skin color or in terms of body type, especially. For these reasons, over the course of Taylor's career, there was this building undercurrent of pressure, of jealousy, frustration, irritation, rage, misogyny that people wanted to release. And when the Kim and Kanye drama went down, the floodgates opened and all of that hatred poured out onto Taylor all at once. What we know as fans is that this mentally sent Taylor off a cliff. And the way that she ended up responding to it was essentially to disappear.
We got rid of the dog. Bring in the birds. Sorry. After the birds, bring in the goats.
For years. Completely took herself out of the public eye. When I say she disappeared, she disappeared. Nobody physically saw her. And while Taylor responded with silence, the Kardashians doubled down on this motif of Taylor is a snake, including posts from Kim and Kendall Jenner. What happened next is what I think is one of the most brilliant public relations moves in the history of the music industry. Taylor Swift decided to come back with her next album called Reputation, and she took this motif of a snake and swallowed it and turned it into her art. Taylor rolled out a snake marketing campaign.
We saw, of course, the Reputation Tour. Check it out on our, I think the Reputation Tour reaction we did is only available right now on our Patreon, correct? Or did we get that up on YouTube?
I feel like there's a version of it. I don't know.
Oh, wait, we got on YouTube, basically us just talking about it with all the songs cut out to make it on YouTube.
That's right.
Our commentary during the songs is only on Patreon because of the copyright. Okay.
Yeah.
But our whole album review is Patreon too. Anyways, yeah, I just want to make clear that. But anyways, cool. Okay.
Campaign and then re-entered the music public eye with the music video for Look What You Made Me Do. And the entire purpose and gist of that song is to say, you guys have driven me to snap and become the snake, the villain, the bad girl that you think that I am. This was such a thematic departure from anything that Taylor Swift had done up to this point. And for her diehard fans, that initial music video, Look What You Made Me Do, was filled with little Easter eggs alluding to every single aspect of criticism that had been levied against Taylor Swift over the last several years. The imagery of the video shows a grave that reads, "Here lies Taylor Swift's reputation," and it shows Taylor literally crawling out of this grave.
Explain that metaphor. What does that mean? Sorry. That's not an Easter egg. That's a Christmas gift slammed down the chimney by Santa's fat face.
I do think she's doing a great job of explaining.
Yeah, I'm just.
Yeah.
She's
No.
just
I'm
fine.
not trying to. I'm not trying to
just fine.
defend her here. I'm saying overall, I'm appreciating this.
Yes, I just think she needs to throw her hand at my face a little bit more for me to understand the exclamation with each sentence. I think if we do this a little bit more, I will understand this is important. Yeah, sorry. Just so you know, listen, Nathan, I got something really important to say to you, Nathan. This will only make sense. This will only make sense. Listen, Nathan, listen. You see what I'm saying? You're not paying attention.
Sorry. Oh my goodness.
The media tried to put her in and climbing back on top. What I think is amazing is that when Taylor announced the tour for Reputation, after people hadn't seen her for years, after they had thoroughly canceled her on Twitter, there were many critics and skeptics in the music industry that said that they thought that the Reputation tour would not sell at all, that she couldn't fill those stadiums. And as we know, Reputation turned out to be the most successful stadium tour in history.
Successful?
Hey, you're making fun of her pronunciation. You're making fun of her.
Hey,
that's called calling the kettle black there, my friend.
Let me be Pacific, okay?
Until she topped it with the Eras Tour. Long story short, Taylor Swift is the perfect example of taking your trauma and translating it into art. Outside of explicit PR statements, there have been
she stopped it for the airplane, Elise. She heard the airplane coming. She stopped it. Sorry.
A few times that Taylor Swift has publicly addressed the harassment that she's received from Kanye West. Her direct response to the VMAs incident is the song Innocent, in which she says, "It's all right, life is a tough crowd, 32 and still growing up now."
Titles elude me. So have we done Innocent, folks? Like, what album was it from?
That's on Reputations, isn't it?
Is it on Reputation? See, I just say like song titles elude me, so I don't know if it's on Reputation or not. If it's on Reputation, we've done it. If it's on Folklore, we've done it.
Speak Now. Okay.
Which
well, that's why we
did part one.
Through.
Yes, we did part one. People who watch our channel know our stuff. Like we do it, they know what we've done. Is that weird? All right. Yes. The song title actually didn't sound familiar. I just didn't know if it was a long time ago or not. So, okay. So we're doing Speak Now, by the way, folks. We've done part one and we're loving that album. I'm really liking that album. by the way.
Yeah, it's
Now,
great. It's a
talking
fantastic
specifically
album.
about Kanye. In the chorus, she says, "It's all right, just wait and see. Your string of lights is still bright to me. Who you are is not what you did. You're still an innocent." She's forgiving him. It was 7 years later that Kanye picked up the phone to call Taylor about the song Famous. This was in 2016. It wasn't until 2020 that the whole phone call leaked so we could
recently.
actually know what
Oh,
was
wow.
said. And the call itself is heartbreaking.
I don't know if
The
I can
Taylor
listen to
Swift
it.
that we hear on that phone call is dramatically different from the woman that we know today.
That's
When
not
Kanye called her up, one of her first questions is it mean? Talking about the song. In the video, you can tell that Taylor is uncomfortable, doesn't want to do it. Kanye has to talk her into the song over the course of the phone call. He never shows her the lyrics. She never okays any of it, and she says that she has to think about it. Taylor did not want to create an enemy in Kanye West, and so for years, she had just taken his absurd harassment and erratic behavior and swallowed it, absorbed it, and just tried to be cool for the sake of keeping the peace. And that's exactly the submissive, innocent, kind behavior that Kanye was hoping to capitalize on with that phone call.
Yeah.
Kanye released the song taking credit for Taylor Swift's fame on the same day that she won her second album of the year at the Grammys. And in her acceptance speech, Taylor said something to the tune of, "Other people might try to take credit for your fame and for your accomplishments, and you have to ignore that." This happens in February. Kanye releases the music video in which he uses a wax figure of Taylor's naked body without her consent months later that summer. Taylor's public response to this despicable behavior really plays out in the album Reputation, and specifically in the song This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things. In the song, she says that friends don't try to trick you, get you on the phone, and mind twist you, aka exactly what Kim and Kanye decided to do. She also talks about how I'm not the only friends you've lost lately, referencing some of Kanye's famous feuds with other artists like Jay-Z. You can also argue that the song Mad Woman has lyrics that are specifically referencing this incident.
That I didn't know about. Obviously, the how recent some of the stuff was. I guess generally speaking, just Kanye's behavior, though not surprising. I'm just surprised anyone's still his friend after this kind of behavior. People are Team Kardashian. They're very rich for a stupid reason, but they're very rich because they have supporters on their social media platforms, beauty, makeup, or whatever.
Buy what they're peddling. Yeah.
I haven't given $1 to the Kardashians, but people have. If everybody was me and you, they would have no money. Nobody would buy their stuff or listen to them. They have their supporters. So I'm just curious what their supporters, even when the truth comes out, do they say, "Oh boy, this isn't a good look for our celebrity"?
I've had conversations with very nice supporters of Kanye, and it was a kid trying to convince me, "Oh, you don't understand. He's just really gifted. He's just troubled." They'll run to his aid because Taylor has all this success and she writes her own music, but people don't like certain things about Taylor, and so they get all worked up and they use that to say, "No, Taylor's this." On the flip side, you got Kanye, and I don't even know what's what. I don't know what the deal is, whether he's written stuff himself or not. But everything he exudes seems to be this, I'm so confident I can do whatever I want and I can get away with it. People are drawn to that kind of confidence. I don't understand it. I've never understood that. I understand confidence. I just don't get overconfidence, just plain cockiness. I don't understand cockiness.
Yeah, well, we're the best channel on YouTube. I understand.
Oh, well, we're just telling it like it is, Ryan.
That's right. We're not being confident. We're just telling the truth, just like Kanye.
Yeah.
Okay.
She says that women like hunting witches too. You have them do all your dirtiest work for you. She's talking about Kim being the one to record and release this call on behalf of Kanye.
Final thoughts on what we saw. Why is my full name up there anyways?
I don't know. Why'd you put it up there?
Hey, no one look up my name. How do I change my name? Why is it like that?
Here's what I like about this. This got us talking about this. Even though maybe we don't agree with the way she presented it and we don't necessarily both of us see eye to eye on all of what that is, it got us talking. We were pausing throughout. We get some bad videos every once in a while where we're like, what do we say about this?
Oh, this is a fun watch. This was an easy watch. This was a very easy watch. She did a good job. She obviously knows her stuff. I could tell if she was reading a script or was able just to rattle that off her head. So she's obviously probably a very big fan of Taylor.
Yeah. Thanks for suggesting that, Carolyn. I think gave us at least a few new insights that we didn't know about. Most of which I think we knew quite a bit of it.
Yeah, we did.
It's
I think the wax
interesting to hear
figure
that.
was the biggest one.
Here, let's put a challenge out to the Welp.
Okay.
team. This is a real challenge. I just saw your name change.
What? What'd I do? Oh, sorry. I forgot to do the last name. I'm sorry. I forgot to do the last name. I'm sorry. Sorry. Go ahead, Nathan. What are you saying? What? What's your closing thoughts? You ruined the video.
I ruined the video. I'm the one. Yeah. Oh, okay. I can't remember what I was going to say, but we're so glad that we saw this. And we'll see you on the next one.